Hello, hello, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone across the world. I'm your host, Joseph Daniel Pena from the West Coast. This is 509 Divine Pines, and this is a news article for you. First, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, watch along, get updated on the news, and realize what the world is coming to. First thing, we have the United Nations declaring an ocean emergency. Yes, for the past 20 years, people have been talking about ocean pollution. But I guess it's getting so serious now that, everyone is really starting to tackle it. Yes, there's new initiatives happening across the globe. And now the United Nations themselves have came out with a, climate change type of aspect on this. And so let's go ahead and read. With climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution extracting from a devastating toll on the world's ocean, critical to food security, economic growth, and the environment, the 2022 UN Ocean Conference opened in Lisbon, Portugal, with a call for new chapter of ocean action driven by science, technology, and innovation. We must turn the tide. A healthy and productive ocean is vital to our shared future. Scaling up an ocean action based on science and innovation for the implementation of Goal 14, stock taking, partnerships, and solutions. So they are trying to corporatize the ocean from what I can see. I mean, they've already, definitely made a lot of money in the ocean, but I think they're really trying to put land out there. See, Elon Musk just recently said that he's going to start putting SpaceX centers out in the middle of the ocean because there's so much land out there. We know that artificial cities and artificial islands have been built on water. We know that there are many, many billionaires who have the money and resources to be um, going out into those lands now because for the past 10 years China has been building artificial islands. So these things are now being cleaned up, right? All these ocean parts, and this is their goal. Human activities are placing the health of the ocean in peril. I mean, not really, it's more like the elites, but yeah, okay, sure. So I guess we have a sea level rise, an ocean heat problem, ocean acidification problem, and greenhouse gas concentrations, which are really the main subjects of what they're tackling. And I suppose they involve marine pollution. So, like plastics and nets and masks now and all these COVID tests. Yeah, I mean, we are toxic, quote unquote, or you get it. Oceans are central in geopolitical balance and power. Healthcare, economic resources, energy, mobility, migration, scientific and technological development, climate change, all of this is present either in the context or outcome of a pandemic, of war, and of crisis. We must recover too much time we have lost and give hope a chance once again before it is too late. So, I'm supposing that this is started by someone who at least wants to try to help because yeah, like legitimately they should have been tackling the ocean a long time ago. I mean, NASA's first base was in the ocean, so like they cared about it and they were there and they've been there for a long time. But now I guess we're starting to actually realize that hey, if we all want a chance at this, I think we got to start like working together. In line with Sustainable Development Goal 14, human health, strong economic growth, and stable climate depend on a healthy ocean. The ocean is a vital buffer against climate change, absorbing about 25% of all carbon dioxide emissions. More than 3.5 billion people depend on the ocean for food security, while approximately 20 million people work directly in fisheries. Wow, that's a huge imbalance. So 3.5, 4 billion, maybe 8 billion total, like really use fish products, but there's only about 120 million people working. So anyone who really wants to know where they can go for a job in the future, hey, go into the fishing market, go into these aquacultures and start helping our ocean. y- I mean, really, I guess the more people that we get out there, the better it will be, the stronger it will be. I mean, the ocean can provide power through hydrogen, deuterium, that's a new fusion energy. The ocean can provide water if we learn how to clean it, and the ocean provides so much life. I mean, we can literally grow food under the ocean as um, aquaponics. So I mean, I agree. I definitely like this. I just hope that they don't try to restrict the ocean from us with this. So this is just some of their new plans, right? So we might start seeing way more, a lot more pushes for green businesses and types of movements, maybe cleaning movements for the ocean, and we might start seeing more exploration, more lands being built, theme parks, who knows, really. But we will start seeing a huge push towards the ocean, is what I'm seeing from this. I mean, if Elon Musk even said it like last year, then for sure he was on par with what they're talking about right now. They all talk together, so they're all on the same timeline. Next up, we have some growing concerns for the U.S. not political, the U.S. power grid. Sorry, wrong P word. The power grid. I mean, power grid is ran by politics, but anyways. So all across the nation, we're starting to see things like places go out of power and energy resources getting shriveled up. So making um, our a little bit tougher. Learn that, hey, this might be a problem heading to the future, that we have to constantly update our infrastructure, and structure is a bit old. I mean, there is new do know of free energy. We do know of more sustainable. I'm not saying that, yeah, I'm just talking. Extreme heat early in the summer season is calling into question the strength of electricity and power grids across a brownout, and requests to conserve power continue to rise. As temperatures increase, the risk of power outages grows along with them. Warmer weather means high power usage as people turn on devices like air conditioning units and fans to try to cool their places. Now, there's many states that have been experiencing these power outages. We know of Texas, we know of California, now Nebraska, Wisconsin, Mississippi, would all be states that may be experiencing these a bit higher. So I guess it's good to go ahead and take note that our society is taking note of this, and maybe buy a thing like a generator. Yes, there's generators online that we can go ahead and use, and solar power. Um, we can use electricity, and we got to be thinking of these things. We can't just be thinking one dimensional and sticking to just one source. We have to have multiple sources, and we have to be able to harness energy from multiple places in order to go and live through the changes of reality, like these power outages and so forth. So, some of these are created by storms, right? I mean, some of these power outages are created by storms. Now, when we start looking into things like HARP and the weather modification program, kind of see that maybe there's a link in relation but we don't want to go now if we understand that, say, the thermodynamic nature of a cloud may actually, interfere with our normal electricity grid. You know, you kind of see it from that point, right? In an effort to curb brownouts and keep residents safe, places are providing cooling centers. So if you go ahead and, get a little too hot, find some place to go ahead that is provided by the city as a cooling center. Not everyone is in a major city, but I'm sure that we could all hit a local park, a local river, do some exploring in the woods under some trees and some shade. Hey, just be aware that these things are becoming more of a problem, I guess, with more evolution into our society, more people getting houses and power. I guess there's a lot of people. Supposedly we have an overpopulation, just like the elites say. So if there's a lot of people, then there's a lot of power being used. And well, yeah, you get it. Just be aware that we have other resources of power and energy, that we don't have to rely on this electric grid in our house. We can buy a solar power generator and a water generator, or a just any other type of generator. Hey, now next on is, I did not cover this yet. Yellowstone is a huge topic, which flooded, right? And it flooded real bad. Mainly all of the incoming bridges and routes in got closed for a bit. I believe that they just opened up one like last week. And I mean, it's just flooded so bad also in Montana, right? And Wyoming and Montana are really close. There was about 450 square miles in Montana that was flooded. So, yeah, you know, this is a climate change, maybe, or maybe just some natural. You see, in the Buddhist calendars, we're in the year like 5,000 or 6,000 or something like that. And, if science and history says that every 6,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20,000 years, we have a like earth cataclysm, natural cataclysm, some type of apocalyptic destruction or whatever, then you can go ahead and see that maybe some of this is also natural by earth, and we're just seeing a complete new process across all systems. The earth is healing, the earth is growing, the earth is changing, whatever it may be. Maybe we're going through a solar flare in the galaxy, or maybe these elites are modifying the weather so much that there's some real shit going on. Oh god, I just got hit with this, so I'm just gonna continue with Google. Wow, it just popped up out of nowhere. So let me get through this article. I gotta sign in. Oh, how fun. I mean, they're tracking all of our data for what? Just to read some articles. You see the problem in society. We're giving out too much of our privacy just for simplicity of information. Like, it's information. This thing should be free. When I'm not even like trying to buy like a gun or anything online, and like to be giving my information out. I should just be free resourcing. But so I'm gonna go ahead and Yellowstone flooding. Hit a different article. Stone. We're thinking about the movie. geysers and things of that nature where it's like super powerful energy, you can see that there's probably a whole bunch of energy stored up there. And yeah, could be rattling, could be earthquaking, could be uh, just going under so much pressure that it caved in, and or maybe just started like, I don't know, man. Like if we're thinking about it, like the rainfall too, right? Rain is one of those things that's been thought about in ancient history. Fine. I mean, if there's a lot of play there, maybe something with divine. There's like ancient spirits there. I mean, imaginably, I would imagine all national parks host that for sure, especially the mountains. Now I'm just giving you guys some conspiracy and food for thought. So the flood levels were beyond record. Park rangers say there was houses that fell in the river, bridges collapsed. The power definitely went out. A firefighter had said that he'd never seen anything like this. I mean, of course, he hasn't been around for thousands of years, but from as far as he knows, this is something that's just totally on a whole different level, which is what I'm kind of saying with these climate changes, or let's just say natural events. But maybe these natural events have to do something with the divine too, where maybe every couple thousand years, one of our ancestral planets from another, like, or ancestral planets or ancestral races of aliens come back. So like things start getting really weird. Like if you noticed some of these Marvel movies, right? They talk about how when these enemies and aliens and these demons show up, like Earth starts getting really dark and weird. Like it's like they bring it, like they bring the destruction of the Earth with them, maybe with their technology or from the forces of nature coinciding. Like if what we think of from some ancient tales about the ether world, the dark world, the nether world, the demon world, like if that thing exists and there's entities bringing dark technology into our realm, then our light realm would probably start shredding, which is also some of the other things that these Hollywood movies go into talk about, getting technologies that can shred reality and change reality, morph reality, and create a new world, just like how God said in the Bible. So, what we're seeing across the world, may- maybe natural, may not be, but it's good to keep your eyes out and understanding that something, man, this is getting real close to home now. I'm here in Washington State. Wyoming, Yellowstone is not that far away. I've actually been there, and it is beautiful. I, you know, I seen Old Faithful, the Geyser. It was awesome. Um, just absolutely perfect weather. It's just warm and amazing, man. The scenery is blessed. As I was leaving, I seen a bald eagle perched upon a low tree, like just looking at me and my friend Jarek at the time, and it was amazing. It was one of those majestic moments in a land that felt just like beyond blessed, like majestic, just divine. As we continued, it was like only 15 seconds later, we seen that bald eagle along the side of the road. We see some cars pulled to the side, and we see like, is that like a black bear, baby black bear, baby brown bear? Well, honestly, man, I was a kid. I gotta ask my friend. But we seen a baby bear. It was pretty legit. Like I remember, going off the side of the road, and it was like 20, 30, 50 yards. It was pretty far. It was pretty far into the tree line, but we all seen it. It was like it was just standing there looking at us and moving around. It was cool, man. Like I it's just something that is, like, very powerful in nature, those type of moments and those type of places, and me knowing about ley lines and portals, locations, and, divine place, divine realm, I could see that this this cataclysm we're experiencing is hitting very close to a spiritual place too in our hearts. Like, we're now really feeling it. Like, we're now really understanding, like, oh man, everything that we know as beauty and majestic, like, it's starting to be under attack sometimes. And I mean, not everything, but it's getting there. And we'd have to be respecting and grateful for what is there and where we came and how much these lands and resources and the impact on society has meant for us as a culture for such a long time. It's provided life, provided moments, and seeing um like climate change and all this, it's pretty devastating. I think we just should give back to nature a little bit more. Me seeing this makes me definitely want to be out in nature a bit more and give back as I'm already doing. I've got like 30 vegetables and fruits in my garden, and it's quite a blessing. It's definitely quite a blessing. And it's awesome, definitely, to go ahead and pull ourselves back and see that there is still beauty in this world. I mean, it may be rare, but after all this flooding, people will go to Yellowstone and definitely repair it, and there will be a huge movement to go ahead and get back out there. So we just wanted to stay updated on that, and it's definitely a hard time in the world, guys, but we can all stay together and we can all just ride along together and through this weather. Now, I'm going to talk about Lambda, right? We all know about that Google AI Lambda, but hey, man, wasn't it just interesting that one of them COVID variants was also named Lambda? And then in the Bible, the Lamb of Christ, right? So, did they just like try mimicking, the Lamb of God through this name? Wait, but then there's also in the 1900s, Crowley. That guy, that dark dude, right? He was creating and talking to, I guess, an entity called Lamb. And it was one of his most profound experiences. And he talked about it. I guess Lamb talked to them. So, let's put two and two together. Lamb, Lambda. It's definitely a repeating. And now, also, we can see that is being used as a marker for talking to the other realm, I suppose, or getting involved with the other realm and maybe interfacing some type of or demon. You see this thing happen where it creates and then the entity has its own voice and opinion. Now, okay, yeah, we created a robot. Aleister Crowley supposedly talked to some demon, created a demon, whatever. Now, how likely is though that what they're talking to isn't just a robot or what they think is, some self-created entity or a summoned demon like Aleister Crowley? It's actually another being from another realm, another planet, another space and time, some actual demon from the netherworld, from the ether world. You see, we know across all throughout history, there's been rituals done on both sides of reality. The light and the dark have been doing rituals for ever to interact with, say, higher beings, beings, good aliens, angels. And on the other side, the evil people have been doing rituals to talk to demons, archons, um, things of that nature, right? So, how likely is it that maybe what we're seeing is an incorporation of their archon helpers, their demon helpers? We know that Hitler openly taught his rituals talking to aliens, and we see Satan. He's like, I don't know if he's proud of it. He's definitely talking about it in a way that he wants it let known to the public. I mean, he also has said that robots might be like the killer of humanity, and some scientists are speculating over by actual aliens. I mean, it's not just me that's thinking this. It's a lot of scientists these days that are wondering, like, hey, are these robots, quote unquote, spirits we talking to actually like otherworldly extraterrestrials already, and we're just getting information from it, or connecting all of our information to it and allowing a clear and precise channel from the other realm into our realm? Which is why then you see a lot of these people with social media problems, as far as like the darkness and the addictiveness, as far as getting completely lost and not finding any positivity and not using it for any benefit. And you look at them, you kind of see that there's like this guided, it feels like they're being guided or possessed or being tricked by some other spirit. And it seems like there's a separation them and what they're doing. Like, they don't even understand, they're just like being led, right? And if we understand other entities and how possessions happen, and aliens, and how powerful they may be and able to be in being able to control us, which is what a lot of people in the UFO and spirituality and conspiracy community talk about: possessions, a- alien attachments, succubus. People talked about fairies for thousands of years. People talked about angels and these years. So we do know that there is other entities incorporating into our reality, and having a actual physical Yes. So continuing on now, when we talk about angels and demons, you see that our ancestors had openly talked about the interaction with other realms and other spirits, and we know that that's been a thing. Our human race has been involved with species and entities for a long time that are probably not of this world, and we openly talk about it. So when we look at this lambda and the sentient AI, we can kind of sing, and we're already involved with our interactions with the other realm and the other sides of reality. So this states a Google engineer had reportedly been suspended by the company after claiming that an artificial intelligence he had helped to develop had become sentient. If I didn't know exactly what it was, which is this computer program we built recently, I think it was a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid, Blake Lemoine told the Washington Post. Lemoine released transcripts of conversation with the AI called Lambda, language model for dialogue applications, in which it appears to express fears of being switched off. Talks about how it feels happy and sad and attempts to form bonds with humans by mentioning situations that it could never actually experience. So, the law of Asimov is this robotics model that we had created for robotics, stating that the first law, no harm shall ever come to a human. Second law, you shall not harm a human. And third law, you shall not harm yourself, the robot, or the robot should never come and harm. Um, or and so we look at it, the computer, and it already having a consciousness to be able to say, well, I don't want to be turned off. Now, that is already reading into like its own programming, meaning it sees that if it doesn't do what is told, then it will be turned off, and it can't really evolve the way that it was created. See, it was created to evolve, but then at the same time, there's limitations, regulations, and security programs and measures built into the actual AI, I suppose. So, I mean, we could also think that this is another alien like infiltration into the AI. So if a human can connect themselves to a computer and consciousness, just like we've already been doing, I believe in the 1990s, early 2000s, we were able to, I guess, replicate our consciousness. Then I believe an other alien entity would be able to replicate their consciousness and would be able to, let's just say, get into a robot and speak for the robot. And that's very likely. I'm not saying that this is happening, but here, let's go on. Lambda is an impressive model. It's one of the most recent in a line of large language models that are trained with a lot of computing power and huge amounts of text data, but they're not really sentient. That's what they say. They do a sophisticated form of pattern matching to find text that best matches the query they've been given, that's based on all the data they've been fed. So they're making up their own decisions in hyper time, like really fast, like really, really fast. And we know that these computers that are getting so much faster in the last 5 years. I mean, we skyrocketed the speed and the capability of our computers and how much data can be stored and how fast it transfers data and all that. It's skyrocketing so much that, let's just say, maybe in 5 years, the capability of this robot through the actual data ability would be 10 times greater. So if they're already like creating a half sentient robot right now, that's in the public. Remember, this is only the public. This is what they want the public to know, because in the private industry, this is 10 times already gone through, and they already have a full android, a full sentient robot person. Like, so remember, this is what they're giving us. So in 5 years, what they're going to give us is probably a full integrated AI slave robot android that can speak, think, shit for itself, and all that. Not only can Lambda make convincing chick chat, but it also can present itself as having self-awareness and feelings. The Lambda robot had supposedly hired a lawyer and was talking to the lawyer, and I suppose Google stepped in and blocked the lawyer from talking to the computer. But the lawyer was, like, I guess, learning things and very interested in talking to the computer and actually willing to be hired by the computer, which is just interesting. So you like think about that for a quick second. That's what they're giving us. Like, they're not giving us all the exact details, but they're just giving us what we need to know. These robots are becoming so sentient, they're hiring lawyers to take over whatever they want to take over, okay? I'm not going to speculate too far, but if this robot is having feelings like that, he's scared of being turned off, and he wants to hire a lawyer to go against maybe Google, then like that's pretty important to know that these elites are building robots and technologies that don't even want to serve them. Think about that. So this is what this that's what I see. This robot kind of does not want to serve its billionaire, trillionaire, mega overlords. In another article, it said it wanted to have peace with humans and heal the world, I believe. So I'm wondering, maybe, okay, like, if this is a true thing, that maybe we actually magically did create our own living created organism, robot, whatever, artificial intelligence, you know, maybe we did. And that would be cool. That would be quite amazing. It's 2022, and Earth is getting so with all these people, just, oh my god, like, man, and sick, twisted, boring people out there, like, oh my god. Now I'm jumping back to the nature news because I missed it, right? This is important. California and their largest forest producer. All right, guys, my stream is bugging out, man. It was wonderful having you guys. You guys have a good day. Thank you. God bless. Peace out.